Hello. Welcome to the Tutors of a Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 237. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. This is a tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
How you doing?
I'm sick. I fucking always get sick.
We're on vacation. We are 9 days in, 10 days in.
Something like that.
9 or 10 days in. Sam decides to get sick.
Like always.
Redonkulous.
It happens every trip.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you think you prophesize it into reality?
No, I just think getting off of my schedule and out of my realm just makes me sick. I don't know. If this would have been a week-long trip, I would have been fine.
Dude, I honestly think week-long trips are the way. Because my body started falling apart digestion-wise, because I'm not used to eating so much shit.
Yeah.
Day like 7, 8, I was like, ooh, I'm starting to hurt.
Okay, what are we tutoring about?
All right. A friend reached out to me today. And asked me if I'm considered an independent contractor. And I was like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, why? So he currently works construction for a guy. The guy was talking to him about becoming an independent contractor, and they would like partner on deals. I'm like, okay. And he's like, what would I need to do for that? So I told him some brief stuff, but it got me thinking. I'll touch a little bit on the independent contractor stuff while we go through. But more importantly, just like the quick down and dirty breakdown of like starting a business, or is it worth like starting or becoming self-employed or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
This also came from, we've been listening to Dave Ramsey a lot.
such a beautiful man.
Yeah, and he talked a little bit about starting your own business as well to a gentleman.
I do not care if you like Dave Ramsey or not. He has a lot of good information.
Yeah.
So much good. I would say the only information he doesn't have, because it goes against his thing, is using leverage for real estate rentals.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing different he has than a lot of, like, other people. But the idea of the smaller your footprint, the smaller your footprint, the easier it is to, like, gain wealth and be free. And the same with that is building wealth. So people think with building wealth that you need to use leverage, or a lot of people think you need to use leverage, right? And get your tax deductions and all that shit. But his thing behind it, it doesn't matter for you. It matters just very little bits unless you make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people think like, oh, I need the tax deductions, I need the shit to bring my income down. And it's like your household income's $100,000. It doesn't fucking matter. Now, if your household income is $500,000, you know, maybe I personally would do some stuff a little different.
Yeah.
As far as like leveraging to use tax write-offs and shit. But like the majority of the population, it makes fucking sense what he's saying. Even like anyone starting a business, it all makes sense. Like the shit he preaches when it comes to starting, like the shit he preaches for your personal life helps so much for starting a business, because if you have, what's up?
Oh, you just started going like on a Dave Ramsey rant, and that's not at all where I was going, but okay.
It's going to roll right into business.
Sure.
If you have your personal expenses down very low, and it only costs you $1,000 a month to live, or let's just say it costs you $2,000 a month to live. That includes your rent or your mortgage and your food. and like your insurance, whatever the fuck. Starting a business is going to be a lot easier because you don't have as much stress to need to make a sale or whatever, which if you are in need to make a sale, it can force you to make bad sales or it can force you to pressure and like come off bad to the customer, right? And so like that's stuff we're going to get into a little bit. But the thing with it is like if you don't have a car loan, you don't have credit card payments, all that shit, it's going to be a lot easier for you to start a business. So when we think about becoming self-employed or starting a business, the things we need, okay, we need to come up with some sort of name, unless we want to be a sole proprietor and just use our own name.
Right.
Then you need to sign up for either a LLC, a business entity of some sort, corporation, sole proprietorship, whatever. The first thing, what'd you tell me you have to do?
Make sure someone already doesn't have that name.
Right. So go to your LLC, look up for your state, look up whatever you want for your business name, and make sure that it's not already, someone doesn't currently have it already. Then we need to get our EIN or our social security number, depending on what kind of business we decide to go with. We need to set up to pay taxes, federal and state taxes.
Yep.
You need insurance. So whatever your business is, you need to get insurance for it. And then the last main thing you need to have like the business. And the last thing is software to track expenses.
Right, yeah.
A QuickBooks or something like it, whatever you have for bookkeeping.
You can do Excel, obviously, but QuickBooks and stuff makes it a lot easier.
Especially if you're new to this, dude, don't do Excel and do QuickBooks because it's going to like, or something similar to that because it's going to do your profit and losses for you. It's going to do your balance sheets for you. It's going to help you track your shit, payroll, all that stuff a lot easier.
Are you going to talk a little bit about like just doing like side work or no?
I wanted to go there with the Dave Ramsey rant.
Yeah, that's
but
where...
you lectured me.
Well, yeah, that's where I wanted to go. So one thing, here you go. Shaun just started talking, so Dave Ramsey does say, like, if you want to start your business, to start doing side work first. And if you're just going to do side work, you don't really need to have a business name, or you can just do cash. So you don't really need to track it with... I'm not giving tax advice. So, I mean, you don't have to, like, claim it on your taxes if you just do cash.
But the one thing you do want to know is your profit and loss. Are you making money doing it?
Yeah. But start doing it just on the side, so then you're not risking a whole lot. You're not risking not making enough income because you're just jumping ship to start this business. Keep your regular job, do the side work until your side work is enough for you to survive, or it's more than what your regular job is, and then you can transition over. So starting out, you don't need to go through all of that right away until you know it's something you want to do, 2, it's something you can do, and you like doing. Because just because you're a good cook doesn't mean you should open your own restaurant, is the lovely example Dave Ramsey used. Because owning a business is way different than just cooking. You have all of this stuff you have to worry about. You have to worry about paying taxes, paying your employees, managing employees.
Let's get into that right now.
Okay, let's go.
So, people, when they think about a business, just like you were saying, they're a good cook, they're a good contractor, they're a good electrician, they're a good auto detailer, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. They're good at something, they automatically think, oh, I know I'm getting charged out at $90 an hour. I should start my own business because I only make $20 an hour. Mm-hmm. Okay? Here's what you should think about that goes into running a business. First thing you need to know, you need to do a business plan. Okay?
Yeah.
So business plan. What's a business plan entail? Okay? We need to have an idea of market research. We got to do market research. So what's our target market? Who are we targeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are we selling our product or service to?
Yep. So right there, what is our product or service? We have to identify what our product or service that we are offering is.
And start off small. You don't need to offer the world first.
You want to start off in a niche. It's you want to think about this as you want to build yourself up to being a big fish in a small pond. So if all you offer is flooring, all you offer is carpet. So let's just say all you do is carpet only, right? Well, keep doing carpets only until you're the big fish in the small sea of people offering carpets, right? Then add in doing luxury vinyl plank, and then add in doing tile, and then, you know what I'm saying? That's like
And you can add like a person to do those things individually. So then you're not losing your carpet work.
right,
You're just adding these additional things by adding people along to your business.
right. So we identified our product or service, and we identified a target market. Okay, the next thing is, how are we getting customers? So we've got a target market. What are we doing for our marketing to get those customers in?
Right. Are you posting on Facebook? Posting flyers? Cold calling? Door knocking?
Paid ads, all
Just
that.
word of mouth?
Yep, word of mouth. So what is your medium to getting customers? Okay, we want to look at who's our competition. So not only looking at looking at who's your competition, so you have an idea of who you're going up against. You have an idea of what they're charging. Have an idea of their skill set or like their years in business.
Their quality?
Their quality for sure. And we can also learn from them, like, how are they getting their customers?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So,
And what do their customers think of them?
yeah, reviews, big. So who's your competition? Another thing you might want to identify before doing this is who's your allies.
Yeah.
So,
If you're doing carpeting, like, you probably should know a tiler that if you have a customer, right, that wants both carpet and tile, you can always, like, pair with another company and be like, hey, I'll do all your carpet work. You can do all my tile work.
100%. So who's your allies? Maybe it's realtors, maybe it's property management companies.
Yeah, that too.
You know, whatever it is. Maybe it's other contractors, like you said. So who's your allies? Maybe who your ally is your bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Maybe you get an attorney to help you with some stuff. You know, who's your allies, right? Actually, one of the best things, and this goes into one of the a con, but it can be a pro of business, is one of your allies could be a mentor,
Oh, yeah.
a mentor or a coach of sorts.
Yeah.
So, the next thing is, how are you funding your startup?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
So, you know so the service you're offering, let's just say contracting, because that's what we do. Okay, so you're going to need, you don't necessarily need it, but you're going to want either a truck or a van of sorts, or an SUV, whatever. You're going to need maybe a trailer, and then you're going to look at your tools you need
Right.
to perform the job. So you got to break down that. You also got to look at, if you don't have work coming in, because you're not going to have, you won't necessarily have steady work.
Right.
So what do you have in reserves? Okay, that's another thing with like Dave Ramsey. Like,
Yeah, this gentleman that asked Dave Ramsey, he was calling to ask if he should use his savings to put a down payment on a house or to start his business.
yeah,
And he hadn't been doing any side work or anything.
yeah,
So obviously Dave told him to, well, actually do neither.
yeah,
He told him to rent for now and then do side work to see if it's something he wants to do.
yep, absolutely. So, so how are you funding the startup? That's going to be important. Next thing is your skill set. Okay, what skills are you bringing to the business? Okay, so are you the best tile guy? Are you the best carpet guy? Like, maybe you're good at running business and you don't have a skill set in this, so you're going to find someone who does.
Yeah.
That might actually be the better place to be at, because then you just know how to run the business and you hire to fill those positions. But like, what is your skill set? And knowing that ahead of time, is your skill set bookkeeping? Well, then you better factor in the time it's going to take to learn bookkeeping
Yeah.
or hire a bookkeeper. Now you're talking about a money thing, so you're going to need to bring in more work. So, big, what are your skills? Do you want, okay? Do you want to get better at your trade? Or do you want to get better at, or do you want to get good at running a business? You know,
Right.
like where do you want to go in your hierarchy of things? Maybe you don't start a business, or maybe you partner with someone willing to run the business side so you can focus on your skill, your craft.
And I'll repeat this again. Just because you're a good worker doesn't mean you should start your own business.
1,000. So, boom, running through that. So, you kind of get this shit panned out and figured out. As you're going through this, there's one important thing we need to ask ourselves. What are you looking for? What are you looking to accomplish? What's your vision? Okay? You should have an idea of your vision, to personal vision to see what the hell you want in life, and then a business vision. Where would you want to take this company? And that rolls right into your like skill set and shit. Do you actually want to do this?
Right.
Do you want to run a company, or do you just want to be the best fucking carpet installer out there?
Because you got to think, if you're starting a business, like, you're marrying that business.
100%.
So you have to, like, fully commit to it and think about the fact of, like, if it's just you in the business, you can't just sell that.
No.
Right? Like, you can grow something that you could sell and get out of down the road, but that means you have to make sure you know you want to manage employees. You know you want to have to be responsible for getting all these things done and taking care of your employees before you can even think about selling a business.
100%.
So if you want to start a business, you are going to be in that business for a minimum of 5 years.
Oh man, I mean, unless you decide to liquidate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like, what's your game plan with the business? And maybe you are just someone that starts a business, scales it, and sells it.
Yeah.
Maybe that is like your skill set or whatever. But
That's a very rare skill set.
yeah,
Don't think anyone can do that.
yeah, knowing that ahead of time is going to help you big time, because you're gonna enter an endeavor that is not easy.
Right. And that's like why we're trying to make sure that you understand a lot of these important factors of it is, like, we know people that stated they did not want to manage employees and then tried managing employees.
And hated it and then want to get out of it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Do you want to go into cons first or pros first?
Let's end with a happy note. So let's do cons first.
That's what I was thinking too. All right, so what are the cons of starting your own business?
Responsibilities. Your
Huge.
responsibilities skyrocket. That's one thing people don't realize, that you have to pay, like, once you get employees especially, you have to pay your side of taxes for your employees. You have to pay unemployment insurance. You have to pay workers' comp. So when you're thinking about the facts of, like, well, I only get paid $9 an hour, but I know my employer's getting paid $20 an hour for this job. Well, that's because they're responsible for all of those taxes and fees. Plus, you need to make sure that they're making money too. So you do have to put profit into that equation.
Because the business has to grow, you have to pay yourself. You have to pay the insurance for the company, the overhead for the company, all that shit. So your responsibilities are egregious. It's no longer you go to work, you clock in, you do the work, you leave, and you turn your brain off. That's no longer the case.
You're constantly thinking about your business.
You got to figure out, you got to make sure you're getting work in. First and foremost, you have to get leads in. If you don't have leads, if you don't have work coming in, you've got nothing.
Right.
So you gotta string up work. Okay. If you're a contractor, that means all the tactics you said: door knocking, cold calling, paid ads, word of mouth, whatever, right? Okay, so you got all that. So you have to factor in time to get that done, or hire someone to do it for you.
Right. And do the work itself.
Okay, so let's just go with that. So we got to get leads in, right?
Yep.
We got to quote the leads. Once we get a lead, we got to quote the lead. So how much time does it take to do a quote? Dude, it takes a few hours. Depending on the size of the quote, it can be a few hours to do a quote.
Yeah.
Depending on the size. Smaller projects, if you're just doing If let's do this. If you're just doing a niche thing like carpet, it's going to be easy. You base it dollar amount per yard. It's not hard. You'll be able to do those quotes within minutes. But if you get into like more general contracting, like we do, in full scope work like that, dude,
It takes a while.
it takes a few hours.
Yeah.
Because you're going through everything. So, anyways, so leads, quoting. Now we got the work. Now we have to do the work.
Yeah.
Like you said, we got to go do the work. So, how much time do you have on site doing the work? Well, you're gonna want to put in at least 8 hours a day.
At least.
You'd think about it, right? So, I mean, like if you're putting in 8 hours right now, 8 to 10 hours right now, working, you're gonna want to put in at least that. Okay, so you got your 8 to 10 hours, and then we got to make sure we're tracking our expenses. We got to stay up on our bookkeeping. We got to pay ourselves, and we got to pay our taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to make sure we're doing all that. And then, so we've got all those things coming in. We need to make sure we're talking with the customers, communicating with the customers, making sure the customers are happy. And then we got to make sure, so we got those 5 things. We got to come back. We got to make sure at the end of the project, we got to go over like our P&L to make sure we made money.
Yep.
Make sure it worked out well, what we made per hour, etc. So we got all those things, right? All while we've got those 6 things going, right? We need to make sure we got new leads coming in because we need to work next week.
Yeah.
So we got to keep on those leads and quotes for next
Because
week.
you're not getting paid to do all that extra stuff.
No. You're only getting paid
To do the work.
to do the work. So and yes, you can get paid to pick up materials and shit like that, but that's part of doing the work. But you're not getting paid for the quote. You're not getting paid for getting the leads. You're not getting paid for following up with the customers. You're not getting paid to go over your profit and losses. No, you're getting paid for what you quoted out, what you build out.
Like, do you remember Shaun and Ryan didn't make money for the first 2.5 years? 2 years?
What do you mean make money? How long did it take Ryan and I to make like an actual adult salary of 40,000 or more? 3 years in before we could do that.
Yeah.
And then three full years of business. So then on our 4th years when we finally like started making money.
Yeah.
Like above what we could have just made if we would have just worked full time as a normal fucking forklift driver at Menards. So it's and if you listen to Andy Frisella's upbringing,
Oh yeah, his was like 10 years, wasn't it?
it took him in 10 years, he made $58,000 combined.
Yeah.
$58,000 combined in 10 years.
That's insane, dude.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. So
So it can take a while.
it could take a lot of time.
Besides, like, you should pay yourself for doing the actual work, but I mean, to start making like profits, it can take a long time because you want to put as much money back into that business early on.
And that is exactly why this is how Ryan and I made it. Guess what? Ryan and I lived on the Dave Ramsey fucking motto. Besides using our credit cards to start the business up, I mean, that was probably not very smart, but like we didn't make money. So I lived off credit cards
Yeah.
and my
sure.
savings. I'd
You had
savings too.
some savings, yeah.
But I had the savings set aside for the business.
Yeah.
So I pay my monthly statement on my credit card with the $500 a month I made from the business.
Yeah, Sean had to sell his car that I loved because we couldn't afford it.
Oh, dude, I sold everything.
Yeah.
I sold everything.
We were very frugal back then.
Yeah.
We did get Mimi though during that time.
But we lived Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we had no debt.
Yeah.
I used a 0% for 12-month credit card for the first year in business to survive, and paid it with my $500 a month. But by the end of the 6 months, it was paid. The card was over. It was done.
Yeah.
It was paid back. And so it's by needing less money to survive, you can pay yourself less, and you can pour all that money back into the business to grow. Ryan and I would not have been able to grow at the speed we grew if we were taking day one 30, 40 grand salary each. Guess
Yeah.
what? We didn't even make enough money to do that.
Yeah, no.
For 3 years, we didn't make it. We could have done that if Ryan and I were willing to not grow the business and just work in the home. We could have each took a home, worked in it, and made $40,000 a year
Yeah.
with 2 homes.
Yeah.
But we wanted to grow the business, so we stepped out of the business, hired people for those roles so we could grow the business and do all that shit, and sacrificed our income.
Yeah. But there's definitely some times like where Sean and Ryan had to ask employees to like, hey, can you not cash your check until we get paid?
Yeah, so here's the deal with that. So this is another con. You're not guaranteed payment.
Yeah.
If you do work for someone, you're not guaranteed they will pay.
Unless if it's a good, well, even with good goods, like if you're opening a storefront, like you have to buy everything up front and then just wait
Yeah,
for someone to come in and buy something.
Yeah. So you are not guaranteed payment.
Yeah.
So Ryan and I, we got paid from the state, essentially from WPS, health insurance. We got paid through them. Well, we would submit claims, paper claims is how it was set up. At the time we'd submit a paper claim. One time it took 75 days for us to get paid.
Yeah.
It took 75 days for us to get paid, and usually it took 45 days. So it was 30 days longer than normal. So yeah, Ryan and I didn't get paid for that time at all. We were actually like taking money from our savings to put in the account. We had a few key employees at the time. We went to them and say, hey, can you guys not cash your check for 30 days? Or until can you just hold off cashing your check? If you need to cash it, let us know and give us a couple-day buffer, but we will let you know when we get money in.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we had some really great people working with us who were like, oh, do we totally understand? Like, we're in the first year of the business. We understand. And so, Akan, you're not guaranteed payment.
No.
You're not guaranteed income.
No.
So, what do we just roll over there? Responsibilities through the fucking roof.
Yep.
You're not guaranteed payment. You don't get not guaranteed payments. You don't get PTO. You don't get benefits.
If you're not working, you're not getting paid.
No. So if you're single and you don't have a spouse who gets health insurance, well, now you got to find health insurance.
Yep.
You're not getting PTO. You're not getting a 401k match. None of that shit.
And you have to think like, for most business, I won't say for some businesses, like it could be a 24/7 thing. Because like if you're in like contracting or something, and something happens overnight, like you have to go in and fix it.
Okay, that rolls right into time commitment.
Oh yeah.
So your time commitment, you are on all the time.
Yeah.
So your phone is your life.
Yep.
So you're on. And if you get called in, whatever, someone, this is more in the realm of like, the assisted living world, it's more in the realm of like electrician or plumber or HVAC, less of a contractor stuff unless you have like a roof leak. But even then, a lot of that shit waits till the next day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, time commitment, you're on.
Yeah.
And so you might think, the other con of it is you're used to working 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Now you're working your 8 to 10, plus you're doing your quotes. You're doing your marketing. You're doing your leads. You're doing your books. You're thinking about the business. You're thinking about where you're taking it. You're thinking of the moves you're making. You're thinking of your profits and losses. Mm-hmm. You're thinking of maybe other things you can offer because you're slow, whatever it is. You just went from working 8 to 10 hours a day to 12 to 14 easy.
Yeah.
Perfect example, Mike, who works with us.
Yeah.
He did. Him and his dad, they had a couple employees here and there on and off. But a lot of the time he was self-employed, just a one-man show.
Yeah.
For a number of years. He said how he would do it is he'd get up around I think he got up around 5:30, 6. He'd go to the store and get the material for the job for the day, for the work he was doing. He'd go on job. He'd do the work for the day. 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. He'd get home. But when he got home, he would hang out with the kids for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Then while they're having dinner, he would be doing quotes, doing leads, whatever. He'd go meet with customers, all that stuff after dinner. And so then it'd be, 7, 8 o'clock, he's getting done with his work for the day. And then he'd then spend the last hour or two with his wife. Mm-hmm. And he said he did that 5 days a week.
Yeah.
but I'm going. So your time commitment is wild. Your time commitment is wild.
Now he to like even say like now he's just a subcontractor for Shaun, so he just has to go where Shaun tells him to, and Shaun pays him for his hourly work.
Yep.
He doesn't have to do anything else.
No. He doesn't have to look for work. He doesn't have to do anything like that. He just shows up to work. He's got his, as a subcontractor, we require him to have their certain tools.
Yeah.
But then all the big tools we supply in our trailer, all the materials and stuff like that. And so,
So it went from him having to spend 14 hours a day working to now he just spends 8 to 10 or whatever you give him.
yeah, 7, 8 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so on the time commitment, I'm gonna reach over to the pro side for a second with time.
Mm-hmm.
You're flexible.
Yeah.
Mike never missed a kid's sporting event. And so if his kids were at a sporting event in town or even out of town, he'd pull off.
Mm-hmm.
He never had to miss it. He also, since the day he went into business, he always took off hunting season.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So you get this flexibility and this time freedom that you don't necessarily have at a job.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely something to think about. If you got kids and shit, you might lose a little time at night or in the morning with them, but you're not going to miss a sporting event if you want to.
Right.
So the pro side is you have flexibility. You can do some different shit.
Yeah.
This is really big if you're like self-employed just starting out, to keep in mind. You can build this and in a few years you can have people in roles for all this where you're not going to be doing that.
Yeah.
And you can just then have someone doing your books, someone doing your marketing, someone doing the carpets, someone doing, all the shit, and you're just overseeing the whole operations.
Yeah.
You can get to that for sure easily. It just takes a little bit of time and definitely a lot of building fucking skills and knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Sacrifice. Big sacrifice.
Big sacrifice. So continuing with the cons, income and stability.
Yeah.
You, like we said earlier, you're not guaranteed to get paid. You're not guaranteed to get work. And so, and another thing that we ran into last week, or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, we have 3 construction projects going.
Mm-hmm.
One of them we were waiting for inspections on.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, material is still on order.
Yeah.
So we've got a lead time on material. And the third one we were waiting on drywallers. So we had 3 different projects going.
That you can't work on.
And we had to give our 2 main guys, me and Kyle, 3 days off. Didn't have work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? But that's just like how the cookies crumbled. It just so happened that all those things landed at the same time, which we don't, like, that was not foreseen. That was not planned, anything like that. That was just how, like, schedules lined up and how things came. We're like, okay, well, that really frickin' sucks.
Yeah.
So you're, like, that week, thankfully the subs are cool with it, and they were like, yeah, they got other shit to do, whatever. And Kyle and I just did some office shit or whatever. Went golfing a couple times, whatever.
Of course you did.
But you're not guaranteed work for that week.
Yeah.
All of this is going to lead to more stress.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. You need to you'll need to prioritize your health.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to be stressed out.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, you're going to have a lot more stress than if you're just going to a job.
So be prepared for it.
Be prepared for that. Of all of this shit, okay, all this, the one other thing I want to talk about is you have to find somebody to a mentor, someone who's done it before you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, whether it's watching people online, reaching out to other people in the field you're in, whatever, you want to find a mentor or a coach who's done what you've done to help you, show you it's real,
Mm-hmm.
to show you it's real and give you give you assistance, help you out, so you're not making dumb mistakes that you could have
Avoided because someone has already made those same mistakes.
100%. Someone's already made the mistake for sure, and you can learn from them, and it'll save you so much life and so much time.
Yeah, I mean, if you know someone has the same business, has done what you want to do, offer them coffee or lunch, take them out, and ask them questions. A lot of times, like, people want to help.
Absolutely. And
There are some asshole guys.
there's for sure some assholes. But here's the thing, like, if you're a business that's been around for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, whatever, and I go to you for advice, they're not concerned I'm taking their work.
No.
They have the fucking reputation. They have the systems down. They know how their business is running. They got the marketing department. They got all that shit. They are not concerned about me and Kyle coming in and taking their work.
No.
And so they're going to help us out.
And plus, who knows? Maybe that person wants to get out of their job and you can just take over.
Say again?
So maybe that the mentor you want to ask about work, what if 5 years down the road they want to sell their business?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And they're looking for someone to come in and
take over.
pass on their info, take over all that shit. 100%. All right, so those are my main cons I have. You got any?
That sums it up.
Let's roll into benefits, because guess what? There's benefits.
There are.
There's benefits. Biggest one, number one, everyone's going to tell you it.
Freedom.
Man, I got freedom. I got so much freedom. I went from having to go to work Monday through Friday for 8 hours, 40 hours a week. I got so much freedom. I get to work Monday through Sunday, and I get to put in 70 hours a week. Man, am I free. Mm-hmm. All the freedom in the world.
Definitely.
So
But you get to decide your schedule.
But you get to decide when you're working those 70 hours.
Yeah, what you do in those 70 hours.
So, yeah, I mean, you're definitely more free. You're more free. But at the same time, your slave side of it, responsibility side, just like quadrupled.
Yep.
So you're actually so much farther away from freedom than you thought you were. Mm-hmm. So that's the number one benefit, is freedom.
Yeah.
Which is also the biggest con.
Yep.
All right. Second biggest thing, what's so great about owning a business, babe?
Money.
Tax write-offs.
Got it.
You get to fucking write off everything.
Yeah.
You can write off everything down to you're not making a fucking dollar.
Yep.
Because, hey, you know what? I want this new tool. I just got paid. I want this new tool. I can use it as a tax write-off, babe. I can use it as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Take that tax write-off, baby. Get it. Buy that new tool. Take that tax write-off. Actually, a brand new truck's a good tax write-off, too. Mm-hmm. Get you that new truck.
You got to do some market research, right? Take a vacation.
Get that write-off, baby. Write it off. Mm-hmm. Hey, guys, take the write-offs. Take them till you make no fucking money and you lose the business. Mm-hmm. What you're going to realize with these tax write-offs is these tax write-offs don't actually matter until your profit is over 200,000 plus a year.
Yeah.
The amount you're getting taxed really don't fucking matter, dude, until, when you break it down, 250,000 plus is when tax write-offs really start becoming a cool thing.
Yeah.
So,
because that's when you enter a new tax bracket, right?
It's when you enter the highest tax bracket is around like the highest tax bracket I think is around like 296 or something. You enter around there, 300,000.
Is that single or married?
That's single.
Okay.
So.
Because married, it's like 500, isn't it?
I think it's 500, something like that is when. But and taxes are tiered, and so like up to 200 grand, dude, you're not
getting taxed too differently than you would a normal job.
Right. So, guys, you get these beautiful tax write-offs. They're awesome. I do agree. I use them, right? Like I write off my truck. I write off my office. I write this shit off. 100% you're going to write it off. It's what you do. It's part of operating the business, right?
It's not as much of a benefit as people say.
Dude, you got to make fucking money. At the end of the day, you got to make fucking money, and you got to be smart with how you're spending it. If if you think to operate your fucking lawn mowing company, you need to buy a new Duramax Denali for fucking 80 grand and you're making a $1,200 a month payment,
No.
I'm telling you right now, that's not a good tax write-off. Because your fucking lawn mowing company ain't making 250 plus profit a year.
Ooh, good point to add on to that. At least in the U.S., in order to get any loan, you have to have 2 years of tax returns for your business.
Yeah, you need 2 years of positive tax returns to get a loan.
Yeah. So do think about that too. If you decide to quit your job and just start a business, you're not
Buying a house.
you're not buying a house, you're not getting a car, like you're not getting any of that for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Probably more,
Yeah.
but at least 2 years.
Yep. So you get your tax write-offs, baby. You got your time freedom. I will say there is one actual very cool thing, and I've talked about this till wit's end. You're in control. This is the benefit.
Yeah.
You are actually in control. You're in control of your destiny. No one's firing you. You don't have to worry that you might get a layoff. Nothing like that, dude. You're not answering to anybody besides customers and shit like that, but you can choose to not work with customers. You control your destiny.
Yeah.
You control your money. You control your business. You control your life.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing you can control. That's my actual favorite benefit about a business.
Yeah.
You're in control because guess what? At the end of the day, if I only make 50 grand this year and not 500 grand this year, whose fault is that?
Yours.
Mine, because I fucked off. If I take this vacation and shit falls apart at home, which it's going really well, I'm very happy with it right now, but I didn't put the right people in place. I didn't give them like a good enough support system or whatever, and shit falls apart. Whose fault is it?
Yours.
Mine, because I didn't prep them.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate, no excuse, 100% accountability owning a business.
Owning a business will humble you.
Or it'll put you into a level of like, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of humble.
Egotistical.
Yeah, you can almost
Boost your confidence.
you can almost think of it instead of like humbling you. You can almost think that like the world's out to get you and everything's falling, and you can use like all the excuses in the book. Because you can use the excuse of like, well, I didn't get the work I wanted to get done because I had to do the quote, and I had to get the work, and I had to, talk to the customer, and I had to go get the materials, and so because of all that, I wasn't able to work. Well, you should have been more efficient.
Yeah.
You should have worked long. It doesn't matter. Like you
should prepared for having a business before having a business.
100%. But nothing will prepare you more than this than getting in and doing it.
Yeah.
The way to really learn is getting in and doing it, but being aware before you get into it will help you from fucking losing a lot of money and quitting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any more pros?
2 more. Number one, or the next one is you will become extremely resourceful.
Yeah.
You're going to learn so much.
You have to problem solve so much.
Dude, you are going to be an expert at problem solving.
Mm-hmm. You have to think quick on your feet.
Yep.
You have to patience too. You learn a lot of useful skills. Problem solving, patience.
You gain so many skills and become so resourceful owning a business. It's just like this. When Ryan and I started our business, we didn't really know how to. We were caregivers for 3 months.
Yeah.
You think we were expert caregivers?
Hell no.
Fuck no. We start this business. We get into it. The next 6 months, him and I alternate 24-hour shifts for 6 months. Then we start hiring employees.
Yeah.
We have those employees coming to us. Ryan and I have been in the caregiving realm now for this point. We've been doing it for 9 months. Okay, 9 months. We've got people coming to us, asking us how to be caregivers, and we have to train people on how to be caregivers. We're negotiating contracts. We're bookkeeping. we are talking to the state and getting licenses
Yep.
and doing licensures, filling out all this paperwork. We didn't know anything,
No.
but we had to be the experts on it. We had to be the experts on how to train our staff in so that we could give quality care. We had to be experts on how to fucking negotiate a contract. We had to know all of these things because we were like,
It was your business. You had to.
it's our business. It falls at the end of the day. It falls on us. Blame falls on us no matter what. So we either are gonna fail or we're gonna become like
You have to figure it out.
you figure it out,
Yeah.
and it's all part of being resourceful. It is my second favorite thing besides control.
That's cool.
Control, you don't have a single fucking excuse. The next thing you have is resources. You become the most fucking resourceful person out there.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Good.
Okay, cool. Got anything on resourceful?
No, that was it.
The last pro. At least this, I just threw this together over thinking since my buddy messaged me this morning. I threw this together. This is my thoughts from the day. So I'm missing stuff. I apologize. But you got a potential to earn a lot more fucking money.
The potential.
You have the potential to earn so much more goddamn money because. As one person, you're trading time for money.
Yeah.
When you're not there working. Now, you start a business. If you're only going to be self-employed, your potential to make a lot more money isn't there. I'm sorry, but you're not doing it. But if you build a business,
Grow a team.
grow a team. I mean, when I left Stable Living, I think we had, just shy of 40 employees. We had like around 20 full-time and 20 part-time or whatever. That's a lot more fucking hours than Ryan and I could put in. When you got 20 full-time employees, I don't remember how many hours in total it was a week, right? But it was thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands going out from staff. Well, guess what? We can't work 1,000 hours a week.
No, you can't.
So you have a potential of leverage.
Yeah.
You leverage people's times. You leverage people's skill sets. You leverage your skill sets and time. And your exponential for money goes through the roof because you're no longer just making $20 an hour on yourself. You're making $5 an hour on everybody who's making $20 an hour. Or so you're paying everyone $15 an hour. You're making $20 an hour, so you're making $5 on top of everything. Granted, you got to pay the bills and everything, but when you've got 10 people working for you, making $5 extra per person per hour, $50 an hour, you're making extra, boom,
Yeah.
on up, right? So, and granted, when you talk about actual construction, and when you talk about actual like business, it's actually, you're paying your guys 30, 34, just say all in to pay my guys completely. Let's just say is $30 an hour.
Well, yours is different because they're subcontractors, so you're not paying unemployment.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just say so I'm paying a sub. Let's just say I'm paying a sub $40 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I charge out at $75 an hour. So my subs, if they're working efficient enough, because I also need to account for their like. They need to be working efficient and worth their time because there's going to be some downtime,
Yeah.
moving shit, driving to jobs, getting all this shit together that we aren't bidding for,
Yeah.
that we don't get to charge for. And so between my guys' efficiency and what I'm charging out an hour, $40 an hour, $75 an hour, let's just say they work efficient enough to make that 40 an hour. So I'm making profit 35 an hour. So if I got 2 guys working for me, I'm making 70 an hour. Got 3 guys working for me, I'm making 105 an hour.
And with that money, I mean, so then you take that and you can add things to expand your business. So let's say then you can get a trailer because you made all that extra money off of them. Then you use that to buy a trailer. Then you use that money to buy a truck. Then you use that money to buy a office too.
So yeah. But even better, like, so you get those things because that helps the on-job run smoother, right?
Yeah.
That's less trips to Menards. That's less fumbling around the back of your truck or van or whatever. So you get all that shit. That makes it better. that's making the job site more efficient, right?
Yeah.
But then once the efficiency is running and the efficiency is all good, now we have a good efficient product. We know how long jobs are taking us. Now I'm taking that 105 an hour I'm making, and I am hiring somebody to do my marketing to bring in more work. That 105 is paying their wage, plus it's paying for the marketing. And so, sure, we're not making shit for money anymore, but now we're bringing in more work. Now I can hire 3 more guys, and I can make another 105 an hour. So by doing that, like, round circle thing is how you expand, how you grow, how you leverage, how you leveraging people's time, resources, etc. Because now we've got one person in marketing bringing in enough work to cover 6 people working.
Yeah.
We're making $210 an hour now. Profit, 210 an hour, 8 hours a day. You're making 1,600 profit a day, and so that's paying, that 1,600 a day is paying for your marketing. It's paying for me to run the show, whatever, right?
For accounting, yeah.
For accounting,
whatever.
all that stuff. And but you keep doing that. You keep adding. You're getting more efficient. Keep adding. The guys in the job site are actually getting better at their job. So now they're actually only costing you $30 an hour. Because they're getting that much work done.
Yeah.
So now you're making 45 an hour, right? So all that stuff, boom, boom, boom. That's how you grow a business. That's how you leverage time. That's how you make way more money than if you're just doing it by yourself. So
But that is not guaranteed.
that is not fucking guaranteed, and that's very difficult. And I'm going to tell you right now, if your skill set is laying tile, what I just explained, you better find someone who can lay fucking tile for you, because you're going to spend the next 5 years trying to figure out what the fuck I just said.
Yep.
To get proficient at it, to have a chance at it.
Yep.
Sorry, is what it is. Because you learn the most through doing. Okay? The more repetition, right? In order to know what the fuck you're doing, you have to research it, and you have to understand it. I do so much fucking research on this shit, and then I execute it, and I do this stuff, and then I learn from it, and I look at it, and I go, oh, well, that just costed me this much fucking money and time. Let's try again. Anyways, it's not... running a business, having a business, being self-employed, all that shit is not sunshine and rainbows.
No, it's not for the weak.
It's no, dude. If you're looking at it in the fact of like, oh, my boss charges $75 an hour, but I only make $20 an hour. Hey, dog, there's a fucking reason. So if you think you're just gonna come into the business and you're gonna still work your 8 to 10 hours, but you're gonna make more money, once you factor in all your time,
Time, stress.
all that shit,
Yeah.
you're going to look at it and you're going to go, motherfuck, dude, I make $25 an hour now instead of 20, but I don't get overtime and I'm putting in 60, 70 hours a week. How the fuck did this happen? Well, now you know why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's not as easy as people make it think.
No, but that's starting out. There's ways to streamline all this stuff, especially in the realm like massage therapy. You can have people book everything online. That brings your shit way down. Customers are coming right to you. You can set up things to automatically send text messages for reviews.
Yeah.
Text reminders for confirming appointments, all that shit. There's ways to make all this efficient. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're starting out in business. I can almost fucking guarantee you, if you're a massage therapist, you don't know all those things.
No.
It's going to take you a little bit of time, trial and error, some headache to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right, that's running. That's pretty much, that's starting a business.
Yeah.
That's low and skinny on what you need to know to become self-employed or start a business. The last 2 things I do want to touch on, because I said I would earlier, is number 1 about being an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So in this situation, the friend reached out to me about he said that his boss talked to him about partnering on deals. And Kyle and I have been doing it this way, and I actually talked to another friend about it last week. Talked to another friend about structuring partnership contract, stuff like that. The big thing to think about that people aren't thinking: just because someone says, hey, let's partner, You're independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor. Well, I'm the general contractor. You're the independent contractor. Let's partner on a deal. You'll get 30% of the income. I'll get 70% of the income. I'm the general. I'm getting the work, but you're going to be the main guy doing the work. So that's how we're going to do it, low and skinny. Okay, sick, cool. There's no guarantee that they're actually going to do that with you and pay you. There's no guarantee that after a couple jobs, they don't find another independent contractor who's willing to take 25%. You also don't know
How much lead gen they're doing.
you don't know how much lead gen you're doing. You don't necessarily know if they're continuing to bring in work. You also, are you accounting for, are you now doing all the work? What's the people's roles in this? So you're getting 30%, but are you doing all of the work now and they're just bringing in the leads? Or are you both doing equal amount of work, but they're getting compensated for more because they're working outside of that, right?
Right.
And not necessarily hour-wise, but amount of work they accomplish.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, me doing work, when I used to work with Nate, dude, I was operating at about 1/3 of Nate. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm putting in 8 hours, it's like Nate putting in 2.5.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily hours and time. It's necessarily like work getting accomplished,
Yeah.
right? And so you got to keep those things in mind. And so how do you get around all of that? The best fucking easiest way in the world, it's called a contract.
Yep.
Get this shit in writing. Make contracts with people. Here it is. ABC LLC will be the general contractor. They will source the deal, and they will also be on the hook for 50% of the work.
Yeah.
They will receive 70% of the job's compensation. XYZ LLC will be the main worker on the site. Their goal is to accomplish 50% of the work. They will be compensated 30% for the job. This is how payments will be made. Bop, 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 right? And then you have that. You need to have that. But you also should have something that says ABC has to use X, Y, and Z as their main contract. If ABC does not use X, Y, and Z and instead uses 123 LLC, they will void this contract, and then you could go into some sort of suit for it because they just took away your livelihood because they just breached the contract. So, contracts is how you get it done. How do you get contracts done? Get an attorney. Costs you a few $100 to write a contract like that.
But it could save your life.
Dude, it can save your life, save your livelihood, and you know what? You might end up spending $1,000 on it. I'm telling you right now, it was worth it.
Yep.
So, that's the low and skinny on that. The last thing I'm going to do is touch very, very quickly on the Dave Ramsey thing, right?
Yeah.
On starting a side hustle first. People think you have to go all in. You do not have to go all in.
No.
I'm telling you right now. Let's use contracting once again as an example. Let's use carpets, okay? You go to your job, you're working 40 hours a week as a carpet installer. There's nothing that says you as a laborer are, as long as you're not breaking any ethics, you're not taking any customers from work, nothing like that. There's nothing that says that you cannot go and put out a Facebook ad saying you do carpets on the afternoons and weekends, okay? If you're working 40 hours a week, if you cannot go and do a job a weekend, or you cannot go do a job in the afternoon, a job on the weekend, whatever, if you don't have the gusto, the ambition to do it for an extra 12, 15, 20, 25 hours a week, you're not going to have the ambition and gusto to do it full time.
Yeah, no.
You need someone to hold you accountable, and it's not going to be yourself. If you're not willing to do it part time as a side hustle to grow it and see that it's actually a reality, I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't going to do it full time.
No.
This business isn't going to survive. It's not going to thrive. Nothing like that. You might be lucky to come close to what you're making now, working 40 hours a week.
Yep.
Very, very, very much so. Lowest. You want to have your lowest, whatever it costs to do. It's your minimum viable product. So you need your minimum viable product, so what you can offer, but you also have to think about like your minimal cost to do so.
Yeah.
So keep your overhead very low. You bare bones tools. If you're doing carpet, you don't need to go out and buy a fucking van.
Right.
You can have your car. You can put your tools for your carpet in your car. You can get a 8-foot utility trailer. Don't have a gate in the back because carpet rolls are 12 foot and it's going to hang out. And you can get a little 8-foot utility trailer, put your carpet on it, and bring it to a job site.
Mm-hmm.
Your all-in overhead to have a carpet company could be like $3,000. Keep your overhead as low as possible. Make that money back. Prove to yourself it's a viable company.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, who does a lot of our carpets, dude's got this fucking 30-year-old toolbox with 20, 30-year-old tools in there. And guess what? Boy, does it do a good fucking job.
Mm-hmm. You also have to think, too, like, a lot of people are going to start their own business, and in the field, they're probably already doing their career. So you have to think, like, I'll use Kyle as an example.
Mm-hmm.
He worked at Nuss Trucking, and so they had a paint booth,
Yep.
and they allowed the workers
Yes.
to use it whenever they wanted to.
As long as there wasn't company work in the paint booth.
Right. And so you get to think, like, that was a huge expense that, like, when you guys were doing the car thing,
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't have to pay for.
Right.
Like, obviously you had to pay for the materials
Yeah.
and Kyle's time, but that was something you did not have to pay for.
Right.
And if, like, you wanted to start your own car flipping business, like, that would have had to have been, and Kyle decided to quit his job, that was a huge expense that you would have had to made after that.
Oh man, that would have been huge. If we would have that would have been hard to walk away from.
Yeah. And so do think, like, you can just have an easy side hustle and just accept jobs as they come and go. You don't need to keep adding more and more and more and more. Like, you
Right.
can just add one carpet job on the side every week to get in a little extra cash.
Dude, and it all comes down to knowing what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Do you want a business, or do you just want a little extra cheddar for a little bit? Do you just want to continue getting better at your skill set? Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go from there, because like you just said, it might be you just want a little extra income, and you get that through already doing your skill set that you're good at.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about the stress or the materials or anything.
And I'm going to tell you right now, going to your job, doing your 40 hours a week, and then doing little side jobs like that,
Mm-hmm.
that you just get through word of mouth, you get from posting online or whatever, and you might actually only have the same amount of time put in 60, 70 hours a week than if you went full-time into business for yourself. And
Yeah.
you might actually be making quite a bit more money.
Yeah. And you still get control.
You get control, and you get you consistent paycheck no
Yeah.
matter what you get in your income.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got. That's starting a business.
There you go.
All right, gang, thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned a thing or two. And
Oh, we didn't mention at the beginning. We're in Virginia Beach today.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach.
The ocean's right there. It's really cool.
Yeah, super dope.
Well, I'll post a picture on Instagram tomorrow.
Okay.
Wait. This comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No, this works.
Perfect. All right, gang, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.